We did our group project on corn.
The origins. 9,000 years ago, people started collecting and consuming teosinte, a wild grass. We know now teosinte as corn or sweet corn. Corn looks dissimilar from its ancient ancestor, teosinte. The ancient cob was about 2 centimeters, that being only less than a tenth of the size of the modern day corn. Teosinte is descended from Mexico, although in North America, Native Americans alone domesticated the crop. This picture displays the evolution of teosinte to corn. According to New York Times, the biological origin of maize has been a long-running mystery. Carbon isotopes in the teeth and bones of 108 humans and 15 dogs buried in the region of Cahokia revealed that the consumption of corn started between 900 and 1000 AD. The arrival of corn may have contributed to the rise of the ancient metropolis Cahokia, which is in and around modern-day St. Louis, Missouri. According to retired state archaeologist Thomas Emerson, there's been an idea that corn came to the central Mississippi River Valley at about the time of Christ, and the evolution of maize in this part of the world was really, really slow.
Global exchange. The global exchange of goods was fostered by transoceanic travel. The global exchange of corn, along with other crops and various resources, began with the voyages of Christopher Columbus in 1492. Corn was unknown in Europe and around other parts of the world before this. Christopher Columbus informed Queen Isabella what they had discovered in the New World, and she told him to send the resources back to Spain. Corn quickly became a staple crop in Europe. By 1630, the Spanish took over commercial production of corn, overshadowing the ancient use of maize for subsistence in Mesoamerica. Corn had the biggest impact of any resource, altering agriculture in Asia, Europe, and Africa. The reason corn flourished was because it grew in places unsuitable for tubers and grains, and sometimes gave 2 or even 3 harvests a year.
So following the discovery of corn, there were many short-term effects. For most of history, humans relied on hunting animals and gathering various seeds, fruits, nuts, and other plants. But eventually humans began to domesticate and raise animals while also growing their own food. This made for a more dependable food source and also allowed for a more permanent residence. Corn was a big part of this. When it was discovered, it became very important in many different cultures. Some early uses of corn were using the husk to make masks, moccasins, sleeping mats, blankets, and dolls. Corn cobs could also be used for fuel, game darts, or they were used in ceremonies. And obviously, corn was used as a food source and was a big part of their diet.
Along with the short-term effects, there's been long-term effects of corn. Corn led to the population growth in the New World, therefore allowing larger societies to be able to form because corn food sources allowed for settlement. Because of its ability of permanent residency, larger societies and cities were able to grow and develop. So not only did corn benefit the ability of growth, it's still used in many products today. It's not only a major part of our diet, but it's also fed to different animals who supply our produce. It's also used in ethanol, which is used for a fuel in cars and transportation. Corn is also used to produce cornstarch, which is used in many fabrics we make our clothing with, and corn syrup, which is used a lot in products to sweeten things.
The social effects of corn. The Maya people were dependent on corn both culturally and agriculturally. The spiritual significance of corn, along with the Maya's dietary reliance on it, permanently and intimately connected corn to humans. The expansion of corn to humans. The expansion of territory allowed the Maya to increase the corn production and establish control over trade routes, giving them the ability to support growing populations and gain power over other tribes. Due to the heavy reliance on corn and the harsh reality that failed corn crops could cause their civilization to collapse, the Maya often sacrificed to deities of maize.
Present day societal effects. So corn is the world's most important grain based on production volume. It is the most heavily produced grain in the world, and the US is the biggest corn producer worldwide with over 388 million metric tons. All of those metric tons are used in the world for many different things. In the US, there are 4 main uses that affect society. They are livestock feed, fuel ethanol, exports, and consumption. Livestock feed is an important use of corn that affects society in terms of food supply. Almost 40% of all corn produced in the US is used to feed livestock such as cattle, poultry, all those things. The next usage is fuel. The fuel ethanol created effects in society because it is used to reduce air pollution by being mixed with gasoline to create the E85 gas that you see at the gas station. Almost 30% of corn harvested goes to fuel ethanol, which is 4.157 million bushels of corn. Corn exports adds around $75 billion to the US economy each year. This societal effect is a positive one as it exports and adding to the economy improves the economy as a whole. Almost 13% of corn produced in the US is exported to other countries. Consumption is the last main use of corn in the US. It is used to create a number of commonly consumed products in society. High fructose corn syrup production uses about 4% of all corn produced per year. Other things that are produced for consumption from corn is sweeteners, starches, cereals, as well as alcoholic beverages. All of these effects on society are positive and are beneficial to us as a society here in the US. Other countries also benefit from corn. China, for example, is the world's second largest consumer of corn worldwide. Central America follows close behind that.